Here we go. All right, we are live in the group. I am so excited. So I have a feeling, Brittany, are you on the call? Probably not. I think I might have screwed up, and she will be on the 12:30 call. So if you want to stream or call. Something I want to talk about today that is coming up a lot is a lot of you just jumped on the call. Nicole, how many did you put under contract yesterday?
Last week, our team put 6 over the last, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days.
Yep. Stephanie, how many did you?
I took in 6 new contracts yesterday.
6 new contracts. So clearly there's buyers, right? It's getting them to bite right now. And so I want to talk about today's conversation is all around listings and how we're marketing our listings and then how we're selling them. So Steph or Nicole or anyone else, did anyone else have a win from yesterday? No? Okay, so let's talk about the systems. Let's start with open houses. Who's doing digital open houses? Nobody?
Brinley, we're totally shut down in PA right now. We did get 4 under contract for our reporting our team numbers yesterday.
Okay.
But we are shut down.
So Lauren, tell me this. How did you put 4 under contract when you're shut down? Because I think that's a question that a lot of people have.
Well, to be honest with you, it was a little bit up in the air over the weekend. Our governor made an announcement on Thursday around 5:30 p.m. and it was so unclear that our agents did still go out and show houses. And then he updated his announcement and said, okay, now we're going to extend it until Monday at 8 p.m. So they did still go out and physically show homes. We have not yet done any 100% remote.
Okay. So who is doing 100% remote? Who's doing a digital open houses at a high level or digital showings? Monica?
Yeah, we are. The virtual open houses.
Talk to us, Goose.
So we had 2 over the weekend for our builders. I'm sorry if it's loud, it's pouring. We had 2 for our builders, and they actually went very well. The most important thing, is make sure that your team is on there watching live so that more people see it. We had several comments. We had people interacting with us in the comments. So we didn't pull a buyer from one yet, but I have hopes for this weekend, as it becomes more of a thing that we can get that.
So can you share with us the system for executing a digital open house?
Yeah, so our agents, they go out to the house Thursday or Friday and shoot a video of like, hey, we're going to be here on the date that you're holding it open. Come visit us. They give us a sneak preview of the home. We paired with our local title company and they marketed for us. They made flyers for us. They sent it out to their database. And they also went on Facebook as well to market for us. So we not only had our people, but we had theirs. And they sent that out on, I think Friday, and then they sent it out again an hour before the actual open house.
Okay, so those of you that can still go out to the houses, you're going out to the house. Another thing to think about, guys, is we're virtual now. You can do open houses any day of the week at any time.
Well, and we made videos of all of our listings now. So in the event we get shut down completely, we'll just do those videos with us, talking with them.
Yeah. So guys, remember, like, it's about getting creative, right? We just have to think differently in a different way. And it's an abundance mindset versus scarcity. So Lauren, you're on complete lockdown in PA. Do you all have a plan for open houses?
We're working on it, and that's why I'm on the call.
Okay, great.
We did go ahead, and the last week we've been doing video. If we couldn't get our videographer there, then our stager was doing the videos herself when she was out at the property. So we do have videos that we can send people. I'm doing some masterminding with some people we have here, the bigger teams locally, and it's gonna realistically it's gonna take time for people to pick that up, because there was, as of 8 o'clock last night, down to almost zero showings on properties. And people, it's going to be a learning curve because we have to teach the other agents what we're doing. Right now, the other agents are just like, oh, all right, we give up, you know? So we have to teach them, no, we have a video, send it to your client, make your offer contingent on seeing the house before settlement. So all these things that we're creating, that we're going back as the days go on, things are changing so quickly that we're then updating. And at this point, I do think it's going to be a couple days, maybe a week, I don't know how long, to get the other agents out there to realize, hey, this is our new normal for however long, and this is how we're going to have to do business right now.
Can I ask a question about the physical part of how to do it? Because everyone's talking about different things. So you're going to have a video. The video, in a sense, is on Facebook, and then it's going to link back to command and a landing page for lead capture. Or I've been spinning in circles the last 48 hours trying to figure out how to finish the thought.
Yeah, let me simplify this for you guys, right? I think we tend to overcomplicate, which paralyzes us from getting into action. Somebody shoot a video of the house. It can be an agent, if you're able to still go to the house. It can be your seller. Don't be afraid to ask your seller right now. Instruct them, right? Have them get on FaceTime, get on Google. Zoom is difficult for this because it's more conferencing, but get on a FaceTime video, download an app, have them walk you through the house, and you do it together. I don't think this is a time to be afraid to enlist the help of your sellers. So shoot the video, right? And then you're going to stream it. You're going to put it onto Facebook, whether it's a watch party, it's a video. Like Monica said, you're going to ask all of your team members. This is a time to call your friends, your family, enlist help from your advocates to know when you're doing it, to go do watch parties on their house. on their Facebook page. And then create a landing page, whether it's through command, whether it's through your website. Go buy a website, whatever you need to do to capture the leads from the open house. Okay? It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate this. It's just, you want the buyers to see the house, and you want a way to capture the lead. This is all, guys, about mind share and taking mind share now to take market share later. We just have to get people thinking in a different way. Pulling your MLS stats every morning, getting that out to your pipeline, getting that out to your people, so people know that homes are still buying or selling. Does anybody have anything to add to that?
I honestly think this is a great opportunity for our industry that has been, where a lot of people are trying to take over like Zillow and make it all online. Well, this is keeping the real estate agent in it. And it's forcing us to have to adapt and scale our business to act as if we are a virtual company. I think it's great. And it's just about being creative and not reinventing the wheel. See what other people are doing. How are they handling that? Think of it as you're not going to be able to go show that house or shoot that house and nobody else is. And, why not ask your seller to shoot a video?
Yeah. Absolutely. Anybody else have anything to add? Guys, this isn't a time to be shy. Let's share. Okay, so let's talk about, we talked about virtual open houses. Another great thing that I've heard is a beginning, a middle, and end, right? You can also split it up to get creative with it, whatever is going to help. Let's talk about virtual showings. Has anybody done virtual showings? Anybody? All right, so let's talk about it.
Brindley,
we need more coffee, I think, here.
This is JJ from Cincinnati.
Hi, JJ.
I have not done virtual showings in this market, but have done them previously, both personally as well as with clients, and bought and sold homes that way, simply because the market was so hot. The timing was critical to get the information on the house, get the property in front of my clients. And at least in Ohio, we have a very generous inspection period. So it was not a problem for clients who have been educated, who have seen other properties, to know that if this is the right one through FaceTime or Skype or whatever the technology was, and then come in during the inspection period and every time I've done that, it has been a win, and they've come in on the inspection period and been really happy, and there's been no concern about walking away.
Will you do me a favor, JJ? Are
Sure.
you a part of the group?
Yes.
Okay, will you go in and do a post on that or a video? I think people need to hear that, right? Like, this has been done before. This isn't new, and it can be done. I'm hearing in a lot of markets, it's with the other agents, it's here's the virtual showing, right? Send it to your buyer. If they're still interested, then we'll talk about how we can execute this to get it off the market today.
Right.
Because what's happening is that unmotivated sellers are coming off the market. So almost every market that I've spoken to in the last 48 hours, there's more pending than there is listing, which tells us that there's more buyers than there are sellers.
Right.
So we want to get it off the market, right? And do whatever it takes to get it off the market. And I had this aha this morning, and JJ, and you just hit on it. Guys, like, we've written extensions before. We've written the documentation to protect our buyers and sellers, right? We don't need a COVID or whatever it is, Corona, whatever. I don't even use the word anymore, right? To scare folks. We have documentation that we've used for years to work through things.
Yeah,
right?
Brinley, an idea that I saw this morning that we're 100% going to put in place is when your offer says contingent on the buyer seeing the home, the buyer is then, or you're negotiating for your seller to still keep the house active and have a first right of refusal in there, so that if you get another offer that is not contingent on the buyer seeing the home, you could bump the other one out. So it's kind of like a home sale contingency, but for seeing the home. I thought that was brilliant.
Dude, if this call, like that right there, was worth its weight in gold. Like, you all should be emailing that out to all your agents today, all your people.
Let me give credit. That was Kate Vale out of Philadelphia.
Awesome.
Yeah, Lauren, I think that's a really good point. I think the other point that I'm taking away from this is, Brinley, what you said is these are not emergency practices. These are things that we have been doing. And I think it's important to get that message out there to our buyers and sellers. We had a situation with a listing a month ago, fell through a week before closing because the husband had seen it, written the offer, and wife came in on the walkthrough and was like, nope, hard pass, this is not our house. So in that case, we didn't have the protection that Lauren was just talking about because we were unaware that the wife had never seen the property. And of course, that's not a contingency, but it still created a lot of unhappiness 48 hours before closing. So in general, good business practice, and this gives us the opportunity to put those protections in place and also to remind people that this isn't something new. We're just truly pivoting.
Yeah, another idea, that's exactly right. And another idea, we had one before the whole COVID, Corona, whatever, not being flippant, but just like Brinley said, a couple weeks ago, we have a client coming from California and has never seen the house. It's currently under contract. And we, as a listing agent, were like, oh, they'd never seen the house. We knew they had never seen the house, and we knew they were not going to see the house until the final walkthrough. So we had been talking ideas of, okay, the earnest money is 25 grand. How about 5 grand is non-refundable if they were to back out? So things like that we can absolutely do.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Guys, like, here's a question. Here's a coaching focusing question. If it wasn't COVID, if it wasn't Corona, and my seller wasn't able to, and my buyer wasn't able to see the house, how would I close the deal? What would I do? What would I do? And then here's the second question I want you to, the next 2 questions I want you to write down today. What do you want the outcome to be? And everything that you're doing right now. And when you're talking to buyers and sellers, use this question. What would you like the outcome to be? What would you like to achieve here? And then the second question is, what do you need to shift in your mindset and your activities to achieve that? Because what I'm seeing is that we're leading with scarcity in a lot of these situations. And so our results are wrapped in scarcity, not abundance. And I woke up this morning and I was like, why am I feeling so grateful and so good right now? And it's because I spend 30 minutes to an hour every day around my mindset, whether it's reading, whether it's like, I'm not listening to gangster rap right now. I'm not listening to REM. Like, I love all of that, but I'm listening to freaking Jesus music every morning, right? Like I'm listening to things that are pumping me up, not, I'm listening to Ben Kinney this morning and his call and figuring out Washington State is a lot further ahead. So what are you choosing to put into your mind space right now, right? Okay, so we've talked about open houses. We've talked about showings. Lauren, someone's asking if you could post in the group what you said around the contingencies and the right of refusal.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
And if
All right, guys.
Lauren, if there's any chance that you could just not write it, I mean, a powerful video, 1 to 2 minutes long, we would love to see that in a video format as well. I think that delivers to some people more than just putting it in writing. If you're able to do that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, where are you?
I just have my 16-month-old running around me right now, so
That's cool, Lauren. We love seeing the babies.
We love it. We love it.
And where are you guys putting the words? I mean, I'm a lawyer, but we're not allowed to practice law, and I'm in Texas. In a contract, are you guys writing stuff in special provisions? Is some lawyer giving you the buzzwords, or is it just some standard language you guys always use, so it's no big deal?
the language. Our language for that is in the we have 3 different options for home sale contingencies. So if you guys, and we have one that is a first right of refusal. So it's called right to continue market, timed kick out with first right of refusal. So we're gonna pull the language from that, and it's still a work in progress. Are we gonna put that into additional terms on the agreement of sale? I think that I'm more comfortable with that. I certainly don't want to be creating a new addendum. So we're probably gonna take the verbiage from that addendum. It's already in there, but it applies for home sale contingencies. And we'll take that verbiage and we're going to put it, my guess is that we're going to be putting that into additional terms on the contract itself.
Guys, I'm going to do my PSA here, right? For everybody that's watching and on. You need to check with your broker. You need to check with your broker, right? To make sure that you're allowed to do this. And I think it's a great idea to go to with your broker. Here's what I want you to remember about your leaders right now. They need our ideas just as much as we do. They're over flooded right now. Their pressure's higher than anything. They've got 150 some. I talked to a team leader last night with 500 agents. She's losing her mind, right? So when you hear things like this is why we started this group. It was so that we could pull the valuable information that actually helps into one place, because there's so much information out there right now. I'm going to say this really quick because we're going to wrap up here in about 7 minutes. We are doing a prayer group right after this call on the same number. So if you're jumping on for prayer group, just hang tight. You might learn something. And if any of you want to stay on and pray with us, you're more than happy to do that. Okay. So we've talked about showings. We've talked about open houses. Let's talk about the elephant in the room: inspections, contingencies. What are we going to do about that?
We have a great inspection partner that we've been in really close communication with, who does video, does tons of photos of the property, and has simply said, I will continue to practice. I'm asking that sellers not be there. I'm asking that buyers not be there. And I will do a video chat with the buyers after the fact to go through anything they have questions about in detail, because that delivery of the information in a personal way really matters to them.
Yeah. Guys, again, this is all about who are you partnering with right now? Are you partnering with affiliates that are sticking their head in the sand? Or are you partnering with people that are finding solutions and are being solution-based?
Brindley?
So one of our inspectors that,
Jason.
Go ahead.
No, Jason, go ahead and then we'll go to David.
Yeah, one of our inspectors we used actually last week launched a virtual inspection. And what he does is uses some technology and he uploads it. And basically, if you're familiar with Matterport, it's very similar to Matterport. And he actually has on there earmarked in the virtual, the spots he's talking about, where it says, this is where the threshold was bad. This is where the fireplace needs whatever, and so it's pretty cool when they're using the same thing we're promoting too. Virtual open houses, virtual showings. Well, they're doing virtual inspections. And it actually worked out pretty well to where, because he did mention, man, it's awkward because the sellers don't have anywhere to go for 3 hours. We're here in Dallas and we're getting all the shelter in places. We can't leave for 3 hours. And so it's been a good thing for our clients as well. We just did one this last week. We have one upcoming.
Guys, like, and again, get creative. We've got addendums, we've got disclosures, work with your brokers, right? Like, it takes 30 to 45 days to close a loan. You can have a contingency. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me, but in all the transactions I've closed, I don't know why you can't have an addendum that says it's contingent on inspection. And the inspection can happen 3 days prior to the close. Mandy, do you have anything to add to that from your experience? And then we'll go to David.
The inspection companies here are really doing the same thing everybody's saying. But as far as addendums, yeah, I mean, we can prepare those and have them in place. But I mean, that's happening at the same time as the walkthrough. Sometimes the inspections are happening at the same time. So
yeah, guys, for those of you that don't know Mandy, how many transactions did you close last year? Did your team do?
3,000.
So she's a TC here in Florida. They service all over the country. So her team did 3,000 transactions last year. So she might be an expert that you want to talk to about this kind of stuff because she's seen it all. Mandy, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Would you be willing to be one of our guests next week on our call?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
All right, David.
Yeah, the only thing I want to mention, I know we talked about this the other day, and I don't think it could be overstressed. Pick up the phone and have real conversations with people. When we talk about, I mean, God bless you in your emails, your texts, and everything else like that. Pick up the phone and have real conversations with your vendors. We understand when you go into that conversation that it's likely that there are going to be 3 people that you talk to. One of them still is just clueless. They don't know what's going on. They're not sure. In fact, they're stressed, they're scared, everything else. The other person that you're going to talk to, and this is the one that I really want to warn you about, and they're people that have done amazing work for you the last couple of years, but the real answer that they have for you is, don't worry about it, we're all over it, we've got your back. That's not an acceptable answer at this point. And there's a polite way to have that conversation with them and move past that, but that's not an acceptable conversation at this point. And the third one is the one that you talk to them and they've already thought about this before you called. They've got creative solutions. They've thought about this. They've looked at not what's happening in their region. They've already looked ahead at what's happening in Washington and others. And they've actually looked at scenarios and they want to discuss actual creativity and solutions. Pick up the phone and have real conversations.
Yeah, and I'll leave you with this. Right now, Gary tells us the 4 activities. Number 1, 4 hours minimum of lead gen a day, and their care calls. Their care calls, don't lead with sales, right? Lead with care. Have value to bring them. Have your MLS numbers in front of you when you call. Give them the facts. Number 2, 40 contacts a day, minimum. Do whatever it takes to get 40 contacts. If you do 4 hours of lead gen and you don't get 40 contacts, then stay on the phone, right? Double your listing appointments and double your listings taken. Those are the 4 activities. And start calling your team huddles, cuddles, right? Hug your people, cuddle your people, reach out to them. If you'd like to stay on with us to pray, we would love to have you. We're just going to pray for our leaders. We're going to pray for our markets, and we're going to pray for one another. Deldy Ortega, if you don't know, Ortegan, and Lee Bogar are going to be leading us. Otherwise, come on at 12:30. Brittany Brands will be here. She was Mountain Time, so I screwed up the time. So join us at 12:30. That's 9:30 Pacific, and we'll also stream it in Facebook. You guys go out and kill it today. Thank you for being on the call. We love having everybody and all of your ideas. Bye, guys. Yes, Andrew, I will. I'm sorry. All right, so we get to have the call after the call, right? I am going to stop my stream here.